20:10, and the devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are also. They'll be tormented day and night forever and ever. Okay, so this is the lake of fire, and they're going to be destroyed. They're tormented. This torment is that they're destroyed. This is what I said earlier, that the use of the word torment and the connection of Sheol, which is different than the lake of fire, is an idea of them waiting in emotional pain. But then as we read about in 2nd Ezra, that after the resurrection happens, those who don't make the resurrection know that the day of their torment and their destruction is at hand. So I'm saying is coming. That's the next step for them. That's the only thing left that's going to happen to them, is that they're going to be thrown into the lake of fire, where we're told that this is what destroys the body and the soul. So angels have a body and a soul. The beast and the false prophet have a body and a soul. They're destroyed in the lake of fire. Does that make sense? And this is referenced in this idiomatic term as being tormented. All right, this is their torment. You remember when let's go there real quick. You remember in where the demoniac are talking to Yeshua? I think it's in Matthew chapter 8. And right here, Matthew chapter 8, it says, when he came to the other side in the country of the Gadarenes, 2 men who were demon-possessed met him as they were coming out of the tombs. They were so extremely violent that no one could pass by that way. And they cried out, saying, what business do you have with each other? What business do we have with each other, Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time? So this isn't the men talking. This is the demon-possessed talking. You see what I'm saying? So this is where we also see, I think it's in Mark chapter 5, we see this parallel passage of the story of the demoniac. And see right here, the demon itself is crying out. Verse 6, seeing Jesus from a distance, he ran up and bowed down before him, and shouting with a loud voice, he said, what business do we have with each other, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I implore you by God, do not torment me. Now this is the same story idea, right? And he casts him out. He eventually tells him his name's Legion. So Jesus casts out Legion out of this man, or 2 men. This is one of those places where you have 2 different testimonies from Matthew and Mark of the same event. You have slightly different details. This is very common within the Gospels, because you're having 2 different testimonies of personal eyewitness of the best they could remember, right? So this is where you have the demoniac, or this Legion, carry these demons that are specifically talking to the Messiah, who's the judge, right? The person in Revelation 20, he's the judge that's going to be throwing people in the lake of fire. The demons don't get thrown in the lake of fire until the appointed time. And that's why they're referring to this idea as being tormented. You see what I'm saying? Because they've already lost their body. And so they get thrown into the lake of fire. From everything I understand in the book of Enoch, I think it's chapter 56, verse 1-4. The beast, the false prophet, and the unclean spirits that subjected themselves to Satan, they are destroyed in the lake of fire in Revelation 19. Does that make sense? So this is why when we get to Revelation 20, it's referencing that the beast and the false prophet are already in the same place of destruction. Okay, so this is where I'm going to go down here. Revelation 19:20, and the beast was seized, and with him the false prophet who performed the signs in his presence, by which he deceived those who received the mark of the beast and those who worshiped his image. These 2 were thrown alive into the lake of fire, which burns with brimstone, and the rest were killed with the sword which come from the mouth of him who sat on the horse, and all the birds were filled with their flesh. So these 2 specifically are thrown in the lake of fire, where the body and the soul are destroyed. The others are killed with the sword by the angels that are with them. So their souls will go to Sheol to await the 1,000 years later at the great white throne judgment of Revelation 20. Okay. And that's why when after that 1,000 years is up and Satan is released, as it says right here, after the 1,000 years are completed, Satan is released from his prison, then he's thrown also into the same place, the same lake of fire, where the beast and the false prophet are also, right? They were thrown in 1,000 years earlier. But the whole concept is that the body and the soul is destroyed there. This is what Yeshua tells us in Matthew 10:28. That applies to angels too. Angels don't live forever. They're destined to be destroyed. They're not intended to just be burning forever. In fact, the place where they're held in Tartarus, which is a part of Sheol, is not a place of burning forever. So the rebellious angels in the days of Noah that are held, that they'll be thrown in the lake of fire as well. It's all of it. This is why in the great white throne judgment, this is why everything, the small and great, another book was opened, and the dead were judged, right? And I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button. Verse 13, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, the death, and Hades, that's Sheol, gave up the dead which were in them, and they were judged, and every one of them according to their deeds. Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. This is the second death, the lake of fire. So there is a time where this entire, everything that's in Hades, Sheol, this compartment, and apparently even the compartment itself will be done away with and thrown and destroyed from the creation. There will never be an antagonist ever again. I mean, the unrighteous and the rebellious angels and the demon spirits, the unclean spirits, they'll get that second death. They'll be dead forever. There is no coming back. They're not still eternally conscious. They're dead. According to the second death, which, as Yeshua explains, is they're destroyed. It's a place of destruction. It's not a place of continually being reanimated like some bad video game where they just keep dying over and over and over.